And we love to say this guy's the next guy. Caleb Williams is the next Patrick Mahomes. And I always say there's not another Patrick Mahomes. It'll be somebody who is different than Patrick. There's no next Larry Bird. There's no next Magic. We keep waiting for that, but we're not being fair to the person that we're watching and that they can be their own person. Although Caleb Williams and Patrick Mahomes, we hear the similar play breaks down, they improvise, they're very similar. Give me the similarities between those two and what you've seen since you've been with both of these quarterbacks.
Well, I think any fan who watches college or pro can would probably answer it the same way I would. You would name the same things, right? Their mobility, their improvisation, those things. But I've got some things that I think Caleb is way ahead of Pat on. And I don't even know that these are arguable. When Pat entered the NFL, he never played in a big game. Did you ever watch Texas Tech play?
I watched them play against Oklahoma State one time.
Right.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
and I was
waiting on a plane. Yeah, because in between, right? But you weren't like, hey, guys, listen
got to tune
up.
in. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and they never played in the Big 12 championship. They never, because the defense was terrible and whatever all the reasons were for Texas Tech. So he never played on a massive stage. Caleb Williams has played on a lot, including his first game ever coming off the bench for Spencer Rattler in the Red River shootout that we all remember, of a historic comeback and all these unbelievable. So if I were to list going into the NFL, if I were to rank who's played in more big games, it's 0 to a ton, whatever that is. Okay. The second is Pat. I don't think, and I'm one of the few people that watched all of Patrick's games in college. I even went to a couple. And so when you talk about entering the league, who has played more big games, it's not even close. And then second is, who's handled like the pressures and all the stuff that comes with being a franchise quarterback. Well, Pat wasn't that until his second year in the league, which means he never really dealt with all that pressure and stuff really till his third year in the league. Caleb was the number one recruit in the country, and everybody was saying, including myself, this is the best high school kid I've ever seen. And if you remember when Trevor Lawrence was drafted, Adidas's campaign was number one since day one, and it was very fitting. It was a great line. It's the same thing for Caleb. He was the Elite 11 MVP. I met him as a sophomore in high school. I said, this is the best kid I've ever seen, right? So going through high school, then going into college as a true freshman, and then having that second half of his true freshman year that he had, then transferring, being the face of like the new thing called the portal. The portal Caleb didn't create the portal, but he was the first blockbuster move, right? And so he's the face of college football. Then he wins the Heisman. So then he's got the whole offseason this last year, and he's in LA. Pat was in Lubbock. So it's like the exposure to what it takes to be a franchise quarterback, I would say also not even close. And then on the physical traits, I don't think it's arguable. I think Caleb is faster than Pat. I think he gets to full speed faster, and I think his full speed is faster. And so I'm not saying he's going to be better. I'm just saying there are a couple of traits here where I don't think you can argue Caleb is more set up for success entering the NFL than Pat was.
Yeah, that's good stuff.